Okay, for my winner, I'm going to go with my buddy in Pittsburgh, Kyle Dubas. I think he had one of the best off seasons in the NHL in terms of making the money work and in terms of being handcuffed to by ownership to make a certain thing happen, and that's exactly what he did. So bringing in the big fish, obviously Erik Karlsson, getting a little bit of his contract retained, that's a huge W. Moving out some bad money like Petrie and Granlund, another huge W. Bringing in guys like Ryan Graves, who we talked about his contract last episode 6 weeks ago. We all kind of liked it. We thought that was the type of defenseman that they needed, which is great. Riley Smith was a sneaky ad. Nola Chari, Lars Eller as a fourth line center, I think is a sneaky good ad as well. Guys like Matt Nieto to round out the bottom six, and then replacing Casey DeSmith with Alex Nedeljkovic. That might be a bit of a gamble, as well as having Jari as your starter, but all things considered, I think that Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins had a pretty damn good offseason given the cards that they were working with. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think the Karlsson deal is enough to make them the winners of this offseason. Just being able to move out two contracts that I thought they were going to be having a real tough time with in the next couple of years, as well as getting Karlsson retained and bringing him in without giving up basically everything in the cupboards, was so impressive. And there's a couple other sneaky pickups there, like Riley Smith. I don't think anyone was talking about that, or still no one's talking about it. I think that's a great little depth scoring piece that they brought in for relatively little spend. So I definitely liked Pittsburgh. I did think about bringing them up as well, but I kind of had a feeling that someone else would, and so for that reason I stayed away. But that Karlsson deal was impressive. I think kind of all three of the teams in that deal benefited from it, so you love to see it.
Agreed. And it finally got done, so we don't have to go through another whole season of talking about where is the $11 million man going to end up, because he was traded. There were some salary retains that it was able to fit under the cap. Pittsburgh got some bad money out, brought some good money in, and they're ready to make a push. And, it wouldn't surprise me if they're able to make the playoffs and then go on a bit of a run, because I think they're much better built now than they were at the end of last season, just from a few moves and moving some money around. And that's all thanks to the new general manager, Kyle Dubas.
Yeah, I will say that Dubas has done a good job to change up the mix in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden he's got a brand new core four, and they're just older. That's the only difference with Karlsson, Crosby, Malkin, and Chris Letang. My only question is it going to work with Karlsson and Letang on the same team together? Because we saw that that was a bit of an issue, I think, in San Jose, having him and Burns. It didn't really work out, and you saw when Burns moved on to a new location, he really thrived, and so did Karlsson, being the main guy, obviously coming off of a 100-point season last year in San Jose. But no, I like the moves. I like some of the depth signings, Lars Eller, Nola Chari, of course, and Dubas has got history with him recently. Graves on the back end, which they needed to improve. And so, I think Dubas has done a good job changing the mix. And obviously, when you bring in a player of Erik Karlsson's caliber, you're going to be labeled as a winner from the offseason. So I like that pick.
Yeah, and when you bring in the former Norris Trophy winner and you're $3-point-something million in the green on that deal without losing anyone you're really going to miss, that's impressive. That's some cap management right there.
Yeah, another player I thought about too on the back end for this team is Ty Smith. Obviously had a down year last year and played a lot in the American League, but that's another guy, could generate some offense from the back end. He had a great rookie year in New Jersey, so they've got options on the back end for sure if they want to give him a look. So
I did like their first-round pick in Braden Yager as well. I thought that was a good pick, and because the Penguins haven't made a lot of picks in the last little while, and now that's 2 years in a row with Owen Pickering and Braden Yager, and of course, that was the first pick of Kyle Dubas in Pittsburgh, so I thought that was good as well.